2.5, it is 12 songs, 26 minutes long. Nice little solid drop from Aminé. Slowly, like, emerging as one of our favorite artists we like to talk about on the podcast. Really like his music, his features, everything. I think he's really pushing music forward. I'd say fashion forward within his decision making and stuff, within his musicality and everything, which I believe so.
And definitely fashion forward with his style.
And 100% fashion forward with the style. Like, if you see his Instagram, the shit's hilarious. But I fucks with it.
Before you go too much into the music, I did want to kind of go into the philosophy of the drop, because like that is what I think it will also lead into one of the reasons why we like Aminé so much. So if you look through Aminé's discography, you'll also see an album called Aminé. Yeah, I do this all the time. If you look through Aminé's discography, you'll also see 1.5 drop that came out in 2018 after his first drop, Good For You. First album, Good For You. And these 0.5 products, they're named 0.5 as like 0.5 albums. It's meant to be like I'm kind of paraphrasing.
Sorry,
I'm paraphrasing from Aminé here. It's meant to be like, these are just some sounds I'm experimenting with and working on. It's not meant to be a complete album. I'm working on things that should feel like a complete album and like a complete finished work that is me growing as an artist. But on the way there, there's still a bunch of stuff I want to share with people. There's a bunch of ideas that don't fit into a larger thing that I want to sort of adapt and grow and show people with. And so that's what my 0.5 products are for. It's very deliberate. It's very thought out, of thinking like, you need some time in between albums. You need some time to flush out some ideas and be able to abandon some ideas to commit to your better ones. And the 0.5 projects are really just Aminé saying, amino acids, saying that, look, I'm really close to working on my next album. I know Limbo is really hot and you keep chewing on that, but I'm already going to my next level shit here and you're really going to like it, but here's some stuff here. And that's Audioface. Like, we love when that
exactly what we love. Yes. You get ideas out. They don't necessarily need to be a full record, but just to get the process through, so that way your main LPs don't need to have so much extra floof that doesn't necessarily need to be there or anything. So,
speaking of floof.
Yes.
Going into the album, though.
Yeah. So you have a lot of hilariously titled tracks, by the way. Yippee Yay is the first opening track. It's short, minute 45 second track. Most of these all these tracks are under 3 minutes long, usually around the 2 minute mark or so, like average run time for most of it. So it's really short, concise, to the point. Gets you into it. Yippee Yay is like perfect, like fast, upbeat kind of experimental trap track. So that's the thing I really enjoy with Aminé, is within his rapping, with his songwriting stuff, he gets a lot of influences from a bunch of different people. Influences from Flow Tie, from he had staples on his last record. You have he listens to a lot of dance music and stuff, so he gets so much influences from all these other music that he's listening to, and he can trap and he can change up stuff within his own music because of that. And you hear that example, like you hear that with Yippee at the beginning, where you get a fun dance beat, fun track. And the same thing with Colors as well. You get a lot of different electronic beats in there, but it goes well within the way the song is made. That makes sense.
Yeah, I've always put Aminé and Smino in this sort of like I've put them in this like alternative rap category, where a lot of the stuff they're producing and like the production they have on their records is sort of like chimey, like almost like wind chimes. Like it's playing a lot with those like kind of
that's
higher
actually
tones and things like that.
Yeah.
Chime
is it
chime
chime and trap? Chimed.
Way too much of that chud noise in the English language for me to like really like work with it. We'll workshop that, as we do with all names on Audioface that do or do not stick. But no, you get a lot of that sound with it that is mixed with some electronic things on here. Now, and I'm gonna call out these next two songs, which sound a lot like two other songs I like. Not to say like, hey, Aminé's taking notes here, like copying notes here, but like he's pulling from places that I wouldn't ordinarily bring into rap or would consider to be like the very, very far edge of rap. Case in point, Okay With Me sounds like Alienation by the Voids. It's like this really like indie
Oh,
track kind
yeah.
of thing that's kind of
That's
muffled in the
funny.
background. And I was listening to this with one of my friends in her car the other day, and we played the songs back to back because we both like Aminé. And I was like, "Hey, this sounds like this indie song. Can I like play it for you?" And like she really liked it. And she was like, and then we played the Aminé track back to it again, and we were like, "Oh wow, this is maybe not close enough to where it's like inspired, or maybe is inspired." But the point is, this is Julian Casablancas over here with his like band doing some like
Yep,
really
yep.
bassy indie stuff in 2018 that we reviewed on Audioface, might I add. And then you have Aminé, who is taking a similar type of beat and flip and bringing that to a context of rap music like that. And again, this is not meant to be like an album that we stick to. This is just a project. He's just throwing this out there. That's what we like on Audioface. That's the experimentation. That's the pulling from different genres. That's chef's kiss.
Example, and the track before that, Neo. Neo to me is if you made Don Chromatic a trap song, is what Neo sounds like.
Yep.
It has like the synthy RuneScape sounding trumpets in the background, but you put a trap beat over it, and it's just hilarious to me. Because when I heard that, I immediately thought like this sounds a lot like Don Chromatic, and I'm all for it. So again, you get that with a lot of the tracks. You have one after Okay With Me, you have Diddy Dum Da Da, one of my favorite names for it.
Diddy Dum Da Da or Prada Da Bang.
On yeah. But you have so many of these tracks where you can now get an idea of what his sound, what is going through his mind and everything of what he wants to make. He has a lot of ideas, a lot of different sounds, and everything is very new and like an upbeat. Like example, Charmander song track 7 almost has like a drum and bass beat level of trap where it's like the pace of it sounds like a drum and bass song, but it's completely stripped back of a lot of the drum and bass, but you can hear the influence of it. Even the way he's rapping, the vocals are going, it's just boom, 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 and you have like this almost like hype sound in the background, hype voice, and you put the beat on it. So it's really cool.
It reminded me, Charmander was another one of those moments. It reminded me of JPEG Mafia's Twisted, which we reviewed just a couple of weeks ago. It's a very similarly like fast-paced, chime rap like kind of deal.
Some of his stuff was drum and bassy and JPEG Mafia stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Not exactly as drum and bassy, but definitely very similar in that, between the two. And wait, I'm just now realizing Twisted is there's this track on Aminé's song, like album called Twisted, but the song I'm thinking about is I want to say it was called Trust or Trusted on the JPEG Mafia album. But yeah, they all sounded like very inspired by each other. Again, not in a bad way. Trust, the very first song on the album, not in a bad way, but like I like electronic sounding rap music. I want more of it. I'm glad that more is being made of it, even if it kind of like overlaps in some ways. I like the vibe very much.
And my favorite track on the record is Between the Lines, because the opening of Between the Lines almost sounds like Tori and Moi. Like it sounds a lot like like a Tori Moi track, and then you get to the middle of it, and then you get to the rappy part, and it's cool because you get so many different sounds. You get like an indie fuckboy-ish sound onto a trap track, which is really cool. So again, all these ideas and stuff that are popping on here, I'm very, very excited to see what some of these are going to evolve to, and what some of these are going to set up for him to be able to create into an LP later down the line.
Likewise.
So what Audioface is all about, baby.
Yes.
Blueface, baby.
Thank you, Aminé, for making this project. I will be bumping it. I will be banging it. It is a great little thing. And the Limbo Deluxe that we got also in 2020 was a little nice thing as well. I can't believe that was only 2020. Wow. But Aminé is just spoiling us essentially, and we really love it. We'll have more. Arbitrary Scale, because we do arbitrary scales every week on Audioface, because this is the podcast we do, and the review we said is the review we said. This week is gonna be Kirsten Cinema's Donors, and who went first last time?
You did on this one, last one, so I go on this one. This is a solid Democracy Engine. I don't even know what Democracy Engine is, or I might have heard of it before, but just for the name itself and for how much they gave Kristen Cinema, it's hilarious.
Sounds sketch to me, but okay.
Like extreme sketch. Like, what's your pack money coming from? Democracy Engine. Like, well, not very cash money of you.
Yeah. Or like, using our financial accelerator, democracy engine, we are directly able to. It's like that's what they democracy engine is. What they pitch to the donors themselves. Like, oh, you want to get involved in politics? Well, why don't you invest in our democracy engine and get the tax cuts you really want? You put your money in the democracy engine. Okay, I'm done. Emily's List is what I'm giving this because I'm not going to get into that. I'm just going to say they're their top donor, and I don't get why, because Emily's List is supposed to be representing a lot of what Kristen Cinema is refusing to do. So I'm going to let that one marinate.
Exactly.